Hey everyone, this is GWR Studios, and for today's video, I'm going to be looking for some goofs in the Runaway. So let's get started. At the beginning of the episode, we see that Thomas is feeling ill. The workmen tried to make him feel better, but nothing seemed to work.
The top of her head is down.
Edward must take you to the works.
Okay, look at the top of my hat. He's not upset. He's smiling. This is a goof.
So because the workmen can't fix Thomas, Edward has to take him to the works.
Thomas felt very miserable.
Alright, how did Thomas get onto the flatbed if nothing was there to put him on it? That's a goof.
So after Thomas had left, Sir Topham Hatt spoke with Duck.
I want you to help Percy and Toby while Thomas is away.
The top of hat's clothes are gray.
Duck was very excited, and he set off for work.
Terence the tractor gave him a big welcome too. Take care of Thomas's coaches, he advised.
Okay, here's the next goof. Terence's tires are moving when he shouldn't be moving. That's a goof.
Duck was very careful with the coaches.
So Terence's eyes are wonky.
Annie and Clarabelle were impressed with Duck.
Such nice manners. It really is a pleasure to go out with him.
Duck did a good job pulling the coaches, and when Thomas came back, he felt much better. Annie and Clarabelle told Thomas how well Duck did, but Thomas was so glad to be back, he wasn't even jealous.
Thomas's eyes are a little bit wonky in this scene.
Later on, Thomas went back to work. He felt so much better, but there was something that was still bugging him. His handbrake was very stiff, and because of this, Thomas would think his brakes were on, but in fact they weren't. As a result, he would overrun the station and he'd have to back up. This was very embarrassing for Thomas.
Wait a minute, look at his face. He's embarrassed, but he's still smiling. This is definitely a goof.
Gradually, his driver and fireman learned to be extra careful.
One day, Thomas's driver became ill. But there's two goofs in this scene that I need to point out. First of all, this is James's cab, and that's James's driver. Here's the proof. In the episode Old Iron, James's driver became mysteriously ill.
James's driver was suddenly taken ill. He could hardly stand.
So if this is James's driver, why is he now being portrayed as Thomas's driver? And more importantly, why are these drivers always getting sick? I guess we'll never know. But there is one more goof I'd like to point out. Look at the driver's arm. It's connected very low on his body. It almost looks like it's connected to his hip.
Alright, here's the next goof. We saw in this scene that Thomas's cab looks like this. But in a previous scene, it looks like this with no controls. That's a goof.
So because Thomas's driver was sick, a relief man took his place.
The fireman had fastened the coupling and joined the driver and station master on the platform to wait for Henry's passengers.
Alright, here's the next goof. The narrator says that the fireman waits on the station platform for the driver and station master, but only one person is there. That's a goof.
But the fireman had forgotten about Thomas's handbrake.
Not long now, he thought.
When Henry arrives at the junction, Thomas slowly starts to move.
He tried to stop, but he couldn't, without his driver and fireman.
Thomas was on the run, and he didn't know what to do.
The conductor, driver, fireman, and passengers were all stranded on the platform.
There's another goof. The narrator says that he left the passengers stranded on the platform, but there are no passengers on the platform. That's a goof.
The engineer, they say, made an error in controlling the train. Before leaving the locomotive, he intended to apply the independent brakes, and then by the time he realized his mistake, the train was going too fast for him to climb back on. We're being told now by a spokesperson for the Public Utilities Commission that this employee will be held accountable.
Stop, stop, shrieked Annie and Clarabelle.
Without a driver, Thomas could not stop.
Stop the runaway.
This is another scene from Old Iron.
There, ready for action, was Harold the helicopter.
The inspector had a plan to stop Thomas, so he boarded Harold the helicopter and took off. So Harold took off looking for Thomas.
At last, Thomas was tiring. I need to stop. I need to stop.
Finally, Harold makes it to the station that Thomas would pass. As Thomas approached the station, he was very tired, and he was also moving at a slow rate. The inspector's chance had come. As soon as Thomas went by, he jumped into the cab and applied the brakes.
At last, Thomas stopped.
Look at Harold's propellers, they're still spinning.
Thomas was so relieved to finally stop, and he says thanks to Harold.
Think nothing of it. Glad to be of service. Any time. We must never let this happen again. Wearily, Thomas agreed with him.
Anyway, you guys, if I wasn't gonna say anything again, but even though this is gonna be really badly in you all, Thomas's eyes are still wonky in this scene.
And this marks the end of the episode. Okay, you guys, so those were all the goofs that I found in the Runaway. If you saw a goof in this video that I didn't point out, please leave me a comment below to let me know. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you next time.